All right, folks, this is going to be one video that is not done from Studio de Jeffrey, and the reason it's not going to be done from Studio de Jeffrey is because Studio de Jeffrey is not in bed, and in bed is where I want to be right now because I'm on day 4 or 5 of kicking the tobacco habit, and I'm not in the mood to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to sit right here and be irritable. A couple things we've got to hit with the Cowboys, though. Ooh, it spiked a little bit with the audio level there. Kellen Moore. Philadelphia wants to interview Kellen Moore for their head coaching vacancy. My initial reaction to this is I got to tell you guys, I don't think they're going to hire a guy that's kind of that new still as a coordinator to be their head coach. They will probably try to glean some information from Kellen Moore about the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys can't stop him from taking an interview because head coach is obviously a promotion from offensive coordinator. I haven't seen anything about him turning it down. I think he'd be crazy to turn down the chance to interview. It's just good practice for later, if nothing else. And go in there as a spy, Kellen, you know? Try to figure out some things about Philly. Get up in there. So, yeah, Kellen Moore. I will tell you this. If on the off chance that Philly was like, hey, you know what? We really like Kellen Moore. Let's hire him as our head coach. Plus, it would hurt the Cowboys. If they did that, it would hurt my soul. Because I have no idea what I think about Mike McCarthy as an actual offensive coach compared to Kellen Moore. I'm a big Kellen Moore fan. McCarthy, I think he's I don't even want to say good or bad yet. Like, totally incomplete on Mike McCarthy. They kept playing for him. I think that he's good at, and I'm basing this off hearing from guys like Tank Lawrence and different dudes when they talk about him. I think people like playing for Mike McCarthy. So I think that is pretty much the most important thing for a head coach is how do you relate to players? How is your relationship with players? And Dan Quinn is good at that and blah, 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 blah. But I don't want the Cowboys to lose Kellen Moore, and I don't think they will. So I think we can chill out a little bit. I think we're going to be okay. But you never know. If you have to, Jerry, make Kellen the head coach. God, does that sound insane to say? Make Kellen Moore your head coach to keep him? But I like Kellen Moore. I like Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator. I know nothing about him as a head coach, and that's why I don't think Philly would make that move. They're just going to interview a whole bunch of people, so let's not freak out. Let's just keep it together, guys. Let's just keep it together, okay? Other things that I wanted to talk about today, and these are things that people have been asking in the mailbags. You'd leave a comment, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Leave a comment on the video about what you want to hear about tomorrow, and I'll do my best to talk about said topic. Donovan Wilson had a great year this year. He's going to be your strong safety going into next year, I would imagine. The thing that's needed, if Dan Quinn is going to run what Dan Quinn we think of him as running, you're talking about 4 down linemen. You are talking about a deep safety, a free safety, a strong safety, right? 1 free, 1 strong. Donovan Wilson is, I'm going to get my hands on the video. This one, down. Who's this one? Reggie Robinson was moved to safety after being drafted, so it could be him. Dogs are wrestling over a toy. All right, guys, hey, we're making a video here, okay? Let's get it chilled out just a little bit. Thank you. So Reggie Robinson's a guy on the roster, but he couldn't get active this year, so you don't want to put, like, I'm not putting big expectations on Reggie Robinson or Bradley and I, guys who weren't really active last year. That just seems kind of foolish. You can have hope for them, but they need a free safety. For me, I think know the names of both the TCU safeties in this draft. Our Darius Washington's 5'8", but he's actually my top safety. Most people's top safety is Trevon. I always say it wrong. Marig. One of those. Trevon. That's a lot of people's top safety, including Dane Brugler and Pro Football Focus. I actually like his teammate Washington better. I think he's got the best instincts of safeties in this draft. I think he's the best cover guy of safeties in this draft. I think he's an incredible athlete. He has instincts out the wazoo. He's always in the right place, and he's always there before everybody else. So Ardarius Washington is my guy, but you also want to know Trevon Marig. It's one of those. Know those names? And then let's throw in a couple of free agent names that I think are interesting for this team. Is Richard Sherman washed? Or is Richard Sherman a good name for potentially the corner opposite Trayvon Diggs? You're about to get a CD appearance. It's coming from my face. Thank you. Can I do the video now? Thank you. Okay. I'm interested in Richard Sherman. At the age he's at now, and he knows that he's not going to be back in San Francisco, or at least he thinks he's not because of the way contracts are going to work there and the guys they got to sign and the money that they have to do it. So Richard Sherman, I'm interested if I'm the Cowboys. Joe Witt Jr., your new secondary coach. Brian was telling us yesterday, Brian Broaddus, the great Brian Broaddus, that he likes to lean on his veterans. And so if you had a veteran leader in that secondary, I think Richard Sherman, if you could get him on a one-year deal at a reasonable rate, that would be a lot of fun. And the other name that I think is interesting is Malik Hooker from the Indianapolis Colts. Malik Hooker has not been able to stay healthy. What did he do? He blew out a knee. The other one, he's also had an MCL, and I'm missing another season ender. Is it an Achilles? Either way, he's missed a lot of games, but he's one of the very few over the last few years that when you're watching the college guys was a true free safety. Center field, range back and forth. So, and that's another guy that I'm talking about if the price is right. These are guys that you'd be taking a chance on. Sherman because of age and Hooker because of injury. But if the price is right, those are guys that I think would fit really well what Dan Quinn and what Joe Witt want to do. So know those names. Malik Hooker, Richard Sherman, both TCU safeties in the draft. Those are guys you need to know. Mailbag from Jeff. My whole body hurts. Why does my core hurt so bad? It's probably because I've been doing my body by JoJo. All right, Jeff, I'm concerned. I'd like to think Kellen Moore's a smart enough guy to turn down that dumpster fire of a head coach position in Philly, but I'm concerned. What happens if they actually offer him the position? Does Jerry just back up the Brinks truck until he agrees to stay? Do we have a real discussion about promoting him to head coach here, or do we let him walk and collectively cry? I mean, a lot of Cowboy fans will be happy. There's a lot of Cowboy fans that for some reason think Kellen's not a great OC. I think he's a great OC. Here's the hard part about turning down a head coaching job. If Kellen Moore were actually offered the job, there's only 32 of them. You never know when you're going to get another opportunity. So for Kellen Moore, you've got to take that interview. Cowboys can't block it because it would be a promotion. You've got to take that interview because it's one of 32 jobs. You got to take it. And if they offer it, I'd like to think somebody could turn it down because it is such a dumpster fire of a situation. When you have two quarterbacks, it means you have no quarterback. Their cap space is screwed. The money is locked up in old players that are, for the most part, over the hill. It is a bad spot to be in. I do think Howie Roseman's a good GM. I do. Now, he's put himself in a bad spot now, but they got a Super Bowl out of everything that he did. So, I don't know. I guess you could give a guy a raise that you just gave a raise to try to keep him again. Travis, Jeff, love your show. I have a question about Mac Jones. Why isn't he up there with Trey Lance or other top QBs? What are your thoughts? The issue with Mac Jones, Alabama's quarterback, is it's so hard to separate him from his situation. Mac Jones had literally the best offensive line in college football. Literally the best receivers in college football. Maybe the best running back in college football. Our North Carolina guy and Travis Etienne at Clemson would have something to say about that, but maybe the best running back. So he has the best everything. He has the best head coach. He had the best OC. He had everything. The reason he's not going to be talked about with the top guys is because despite how well he played, he doesn't have as big an arm, and he's not as nearly as athletic as the guys that are being viewed as the top prospects. But I do think Mac Jones is going to be picked in the first round. Maybe New England as high as 15, maybe Washington, but I think somebody's going to take him in the first round because the one thing you can't take away from him is he's the one reading the defenses and making those throws. You can't take it away. He's good at setting guys up for yards after catch. He's accurate, good ball placement. So Mac Jones has a lot that NFL teams are going to like. He's just not the athlete. He doesn't have the huge arm. Marcus, pay Dak. See if you can get Richard Sherman and Malik Hooker in here for the right price. Then we throw a party. I'm with you. Rico Brown, free agent, free safety, right up the Cowboys alley. Malik Hooker. Also, give me a Cowboys free agent not named Dak we need to re-sign. Also, have you watched Bobby Brown out of A&M? No, I'm going to try to do that tonight. He's a one-tech defensive tackle. I'm going to get there. Why am I short of breath? Giving up tobacco jacks your body up. Robert, Jeff, if the Cowboys think Donovan Wilson's the answer at strong safety, then free is needed. If so, who are the top free safeties in this draft class? I think it's Ardarius Washington and Trevon Merrick. I think it's both TCU guys. I think they're the two best safeties in the class. All right, thanks for stopping by, guys. Sorry this isn't from Studio Day Heffrey if the audio quality is not as good, but quitting tobacco makes your body do weird stuff, and I don't feel like moving. So I'll see you on the radio in a bit. Leave in the comments at youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh what you want to hear about tomorrow. Check 1053thefan.com every day, of course, for the videos and all the content. And remember, you have no idea what anybody is going through, so be cool to people. I love you. Bye.